Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And as you can see from the title, guys, today I'm super excited because I'll be sharing with you guys my baby's 1 to 2 months update. Baby update 1 to 2 months and my 2 months postpartum. Anyways, I'm going to start with the baby. I want to get straight to the point because someone told me I normally talk too much before I hit the point. Anyways, let's get straight there. So guys, someone is back from the kindergarten. I tried to do this vlog like before she came back home, but it was not possible because the other baby, the one we are doing her update, was actually crying and I couldn't film. I tried to carry her and do the video, but it was impossible. Anyways, I drafted some points because I know there are some new moms who may be coming here to learn something or to see if they are going through the same. And that's why I want to be precise. Hey! Kizungu, nimetumia kizungu. Anyways, let me start with breastfeeding. The first 3 days, I was not producing any milk, which is actually normal the first 3 days. But I kept on giving her the breast because the moment she starts sucking, it stimulates the boob. I'm not an expert, but I know if you keep giving the baby, if you don't produce milk and you don't give the baby the boob to suck, if you don't breastfeed the baby, then the milk is not going to come. But the moment she starts trying to suck, then it stimulates and then the production of milk milk is produced. So after 3 days I had milk, but the first 3 days I tried to breastfeed and then I gave her none and then she would cry a lot, and that's why when I knew that she needed milk, so I bought none, the one I was being given in the hospital, because the first 3 days I was in the hospital. And when I told the nurses that I was not producing milk, they suggested that we try a bottle. And when I came back home after 3 days, I continued trying to breastfeed, and at some point I started producing milk that it was too much and my boobs started aching, that I was in pain. So I actually bought a pump on Amazon, such a manual pump. I'll put it somewhere here. But I used it for a few days, and when I stopped giving her extra milk, it was good. At this time I was not producing as much milk as I used to produce with Eliana, because I am not like overflowing or something. I don't even use the breast pads or something because the milk is not that much, but the baby is adding weight. She's actually adding a lot of weight, but in a normal way. Another thing, when it comes to breastfeeding, this is actually something that I feel like it should be a topic on its own. It should be a topic on its own, because I thought because I'm a second time mom, or it's my second baby, breastfeeding was going to be easier. With her tiny mouth, she was not able to grab the nipple the way it's supposed to be grabbed, to latch, how do you call it? So she ended up developing sore here around the lips. There was a day I was not at home and Kevin fed her none, and I thought maybe he gave her something hot which burnt her lips. But when the midwife came the following day, I showed her and she told me that these are like sores she's getting from the nipples when trying to grab. That was the first few days, and at some point she learned how to grab, and we both started enjoying. I was not in pain anymore and she was feeding properly. So it takes time, and this thing of thinking because I'm a 2-time mom it's going to be easy for me, it was totally different. A friend of mine was pregnant at the same time, and I was telling her, me at least sitauma na matiti, like at least I won't have that pain when breastfeeding. But little did I know that Hey, breastfeeding does not care if you're a first time mom or a two-time mom. It doesn't. At the first 3 weeks, she was feeding during the day every 2 to 3 hours, and at night 2 to 3 hours or even more, because she was more awake at night than during the day. And now, where we are almost 2 months, she's feeding more during the day, and at night she's waking up at least 2 to 3 times, like every 4 to 6 hours. Let's go to sleeping, how she's sleeping and how she was sleeping. It's the first few days, she was actually sleeping more during the day, and she was awake almost the whole night. She would sleep the whole day and wake up at around 10 o'clock in the evening, where I'm starting to get tired. That's where she's waking up and staying awake. She wanted to be held. She would cry. She would just be awake, and I was super tired. So I'm here trying to force her to sleep, and she doesn't want to sleep. So she ended up crying. Guys, do you know I actually even asked for prayer requests because I thought something was up with my baby. She was not sleeping at night. So I thought she was having something with her stomach. I gave her some Simplex. It was not working. I gave her some massage. It was not working. So I even started calling my mom, my mother-in-law, my shoshos. We started praying, oh God, moana tutaidia guy. We prayed, and to be honest, guys, as we speak, sometimes she sleeps from 9 p.m. in the evening to 7 a.m. in the morning. This is a miracle. For me, that was a miracle. The first few days, I would wake up at around 3 or 4, look at her, and then I wake her up because I was worried. I was worried because this was something totally new. I can't believe one boy, the cry baby, the one who does not sleep, is sleeping the whole night. I couldn't believe that, but she's doing that now. And I've started trying to have that routine that she is in bed by 9. I'm trying to do that. We don't have a routine yet or a schedule that we are using. I don't know, but at least I try to make her go to bed at around 9 p.m. in the evening. And let me go to the issues, maybe some issues she has been having those 2 months. A few days after we left to the hospital, that was like when she was less than a week old, her eyes started turning yellow, and her nose, and I knew exactly what she was going through or what she was having, because we had the same issue with Eliana. She had jaundice. Anyways, she had Gelbsuch. We call it here in Germany Gelbsuch. But this time it was not so bad like it was with Eliana, because when Eliana was born, she was born with jaundice, and jaundice is actually a yellow tint to a newborn skin. Like mostly the eyes, the white part starts turning yellow, the nose, and then when they open their mouth, the jaws, they are also yellowish. I noticed this time with my second born, but with Eliana, I was having no idea. And when they start turning that yellow, that shows there is too much bilirubin. It's actually a substance that's made when the body breaks down the old red blood cells. So when pregnant, the mother or your body removes this bilirubin through the placenta from the baby. But when the baby is born, she has to learn how to release this bilirubin on her own, and that's why sometimes some babies have that yellow substance. Sometimes it can be too much. It has to be treated. At this point with our daughter, she was feeding well, and she was like peeing normally, and she was doing fine. With Eliana on the other side, she was not eating at all. She would just sleep. She was super tired, and when I tried to breastfeed her, she was like, no. And at time she started just crying, and we had to go to the hospital. With Eliana, it's a totally different story that I never shared on social media. But I stayed with her for more than a month in the hospital because of some issues she was having at the beginning. Anyway, that's that, because now I just thank God because she's one of the healthiest babies that I have ever met, and may it blibe so. And I pray to God that it stays like that. I always pray for my kids. I pray to God that they remain to be healthy. Yes. Another issue that the baby had is after like 3 to 4 weeks. After 3-4 weeks, she started developing some baby acne. She had this issue of baby acne. By the way, do you know in Kenya tunasemanga this baby acne ati ni joto? Do you know, we thought, or me at where I come from, we used to say that baby mtoto anasikia joto. It's actually baby acne. It's caused by hormones. That's what I found out, because I talked to my midwife and she said it's normal, it's hormones. It develops mostly on the face, and sometimes it can go up to upper body parts like the chest, and it disappears on its own, so you don't have to treat it. And sometimes it gets worse if the baby pukes and lie on it, or if she sleeps on fabric that's irritating to the skin. Sometimes it gets worse. The new things that she has been doing so far from the first day to up to the second month, during the first few weeks, she was smiling a lot, but she was not smiling to us. She was actually smiling with the angels, but she was crying a lot more than Eliana. This is one thing that I've noticed. If you have two babies, then you try to compare them. The first 1 month, she started like, you could see she started like looking around. She could see colors and all that, and she started smiling. When breastfeeding, she could stop, look at me like this, and you see she's trying to communicate. Yeah. She's actually trying to say something, but it's all coming out, and she giggles a lot and she smiles. So the next point is adjustment with Eliana. If you are new, Eliana is her big sister. So the first few days when we came from the hospital, I put the baby on her baby bed, and then she started crying, and after a few minutes she stopped, and I was curious to see what was happening. Guys, I found Eliana feeding her fingers. She was feeding my baby fingers, and I was so mad because her hands were dirty, but she didn't know. I had to tell her that the baby, that's not okay. You're not supposed to do that. Another thing that I noticed with Eliana, every time the baby would cry, she would ask, "Oh, mama, can I bring the baby to you? Can nikulete mtoto?" And it was so sad because we had to tell her she can't. You know, the baby looks so tiny, just like her dolls, but we are telling her she's not supposed to carry the baby or even touch the baby's head. That's one thing she didn't understand. Why me? Why are you all doing that and I'm not supposed to do that, you know? And then she started crying, saying that we don't like her anymore because we are saying stop, no so many times, you know? She want to carry the baby, no. She want to touch the baby's head, no. She want to give her schnuller, no. And then she started feeling like we are against her, or we don't have to, you know, to be a part of us anymore. And it was so hard, such that we had to share the kids. So I take care of the young one or the small one, and the dad take care of Eliana. Like, we had to do that because sometimes I was also super tired. So when I'm taking Eliana to bed, sometimes I take the baby with me. And when we lie on the bed, the three of us, Eliana is like, "Mama, let the baby cry a little bit so that we can cuddle." Or she want to sleep between me and the baby. And sometimes she's telling, when I sleep in the middle, because I prefer sleeping in the middle between her and the baby, she tells me, "Mama, look at me. I should face her. I should turn and face her." So these are some of the things that I've noticed that, you know. But now she understands that she's actually a baby. But Eliana is also our baby. She has been our baby up to now. Oh, and she loves her sister. She gives her kisses. I've never seen her give someone so many kisses and tell her she loves her. And she tries actually to play with her. The first time our baby smiled or giggled, like you knew she was trying to communicate, she did it with Eliana. And Eliana was actually doing nothing. She was just looking at her and they both started smiling. That was beautiful. And she wanted to introduce her baby sister to everyone. When we are like going for a walk on the street, hello, here's my Nishvesta, I'm a big sister and all that. And every time I go to pick her from the kindergarten without the baby sister, she's always complaining. She wants me to go and pick her up with her sister. This is something sweet. And now she understands. She understands she's a big sister. So for us, it was a challenge, because it's so bad when a child needs attention and she feels like she's not getting it. And for us, the situation was all new. So we were still learning. But now we feel like we are in a safe place. I think that's it for the baby. She went for her first checkup on the 1st of February. And now we are going to go for her first vaccine on the 7th of March. So far, everything is so good. Everything is healthy. Let me use the word healthy. Anyways, let's go to mimi kama mzazi ambaye alileta kiumbe kwa hii dunia. Like, I mean, me as a person who brought another human being in this world. Anyways, if you haven't watched my delivery story, go watch it, guys. Go watch it. And it was not easy. Why it was not easy? It's because people think because you're a second-time mom or it's not your first child, you know. People assume you just know. I think this is another topic that I'm going to share with you on its own. Like, from the day you go to the hospital to give birth. Oh, ist das dein erstes Kind? Nein. Then you know what is coming. Then nobody, they're not putting more effort, because you know you're supposed to breathe, you're supposed to push when you're supposed to push, when you're not supposed to push. But they forget at that time you're not yourself. It's actually totally different. And then that's from giving birth. You go to the station or to the rooms, nobody cares again, because they assume I know. So here comes me with my breastfeeding issues, and I thought also it was going to be easy, but it was not. But nobody is even asking. During the first child, they are asking, oh, are you like being able to breastfeed? Is the baby lacting very well or something? And all that. But this time nobody cares. You have to learn everything on your own, or you have to remind yourself how it was. And then when it comes to like changing the diapers, nobody cares. You know how to do it. When it comes like to bleeding and all that, they assume For me, the issue was people assuming that I know. And the same thing happened when I came back home with Kevin. Kevin is my husband. Kevin assumed, you know how things are. And this was not it. And sometimes I thought maybe he hated our baby, because he was totally different with our first child. And when it comes to this one, he was kind of behaving in a weird way. So when I asked him why, he assumed that I got it. Unajua, you got it, of which I was not. It was not even close to it. Especially the first few days of sleep, or the first few weeks, I was not sleeping at all. I was not sleeping during the day because we had just moved into the new apartment. I was not sleeping at night, so I was like a walking zombie, and I felt like he was not helping enough. I felt like he was not there the way he's supposed to be, and that was not easy. So I actually didn't bleed for long. The first few days, less than the first few days, and then it stopped, and then it could come back once in a while out of the blues. So I had to stay with the liner all the time. That was the bleeding, but now I stopped. And when it comes to breastfeeding, like I said, we had issues. So the first few days I was in pain, guys. I was crying because she was feeding, and every time she was feeding I was crying. Almost forgot another issue that I had: breastfeeding contractions during the first pregnancy. That was news. I didn't experience that. And then they told me that it's the uterus going back to its position, and the more you give birth, the more painful it gets. So guys, that was scary. I had to take like painkillers, like I don't know how many, but I was on medication. I was on painkillers. I was taking painkillers. It was painful, but it's like it lasted for less than 2 weeks. What is it, Mama?
I want to eat.
Hmm?
I want to eat.
You want to eat? What do you want to eat? Pancake? You want to eat pancake?
Yeah, I want to eat sauce fries. The sauce fries. With pommes.
With pommes?
Yeah.
Okay, let me finish up, okay? So I was lucky. I was having like a midwife. It didn't happen so fast because we had just moved into a new location, and I got the midwife like 2 weeks after giving birth, which is actually late because she was supposed to be with me the first few days. And I was lucky. I have her. I went for my checkup. Everything is okay, but I'm not on pills because I'm not sure if I want to take on pills or a coiro. Anyways, that's the first 2 months update that I feel like I needed to share with you guys. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. And actually, she's losing her hair. Yeah, I forgot to mention, she's losing the longer hair and developing new hair, which is actually kind of normal. Yes, thank you so much guys for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. I think I'm going to do another video with baby name and face review. Middle name is Wamboi, but we are going to give you a video, or I'm going to share with you a video, baby name, baby face review, and how we came about the name, or who gave us the name, by the way. Thank you so much guys for watching. I love you, and subscribe.